Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Hopefully, you've been staying warm. It's definitely been a chilly day behind our strong cold front. You can see temperatures all day have been 30s, low to mid 40s over our area. It's 42 right now in Austin. It's been hovering not too far above freezing over parts of Gillespie County today. Now, tonight, for many areas, a light freeze in the forecast. I think a lot of upper 20s, low 30s. Some areas, though, still could kind of hover maybe mid 30s. This all depends on the cloud cover. So for many areas, a light freeze tonight. Nothing crazy. It's not gonna be like super super cold down to the teens or anything wild tonight, but light freeze preps for many areas tonight. Okay, so again, current numbers upper 30s, low 40s. Just to show you real quick here, the numbers off the LCRA Hydromet. Look at some of these numbers out in Gillespie County. I mean, this site out around Doss is at 35 right now. So those areas, especially Gillespie County, Mason, Llano, parts of the hill country, which normally are the coldest, are going to be dealing with some of the cloud cover tonight, which could keep temperatures up a little bit. But again, it's already pretty close to freezing right now. So here's the important map, which determines which areas will be the coldest tonight. Again, everybody's going to be cold, but which areas will get down to and below freezing. This is the satellite loop right now. And you can see it is cleared now in our eastern areas. That is why we're most confident that those spots are going to be the coldest tonight. I think many of those areas, down to the upper 20s. Still cloudy. It's been that way all day over the I-35 corridor, but you can see the stuff is gradually eroding. But then there is some, so these are like the low clouds we've been dealing with today. There's some mid and high level cloud cover as you go like southern hill country and back down southwest. So again, the cloud cover component to this is going to be an important part of our forecast. Okay, speaking of, let's start there as we go to the model data. Okay, so this map I know is confusing. The white is where the clouds are at. This like bluer color here, that's where no clouds are, and this is the model here. So as we go into this evening, you can see the data is clearing out the sky, allowing temperatures to drop down even colder. So here's 10. And then eventually, as we get into the later overnight into the morning, cloud cover may be building back in tonight. Again, this is why it's a little bit of a tricky temperature forecast for which areas will be the coldest and even when they'll be the coldest. So maybe that freeze happens a little bit like earlier in the overnight, and then things warm up a little bit more heading into the morning. Okay, so off this data, let me just show you kind of the moving temperatures real quick, and then I'll just show you the low temperature map. Okay, so here is 10 o'clock. Look at this. Mid upper 30s in Austin. Already at that point, I mean, parts of Mason County and Llano County and Burnett County, maybe parts of Gillespie County could be dealing with a light freeze already. Here's midnight. Okay, here's 2. At that point, again, freezing temperatures over parts of the hill country, still dropping in areas along an east, but those areas stay clear longer. So again, you can just kind of see how as the clouds start to build in again, temperatures warm up. But this would be 6 a.m. Temperatures, low to mid 30s, if not colder. Let me show you a slightly less complicated version of that. So we'll go over here to the national model blend. We'll do the minimum temperatures. Over parts of the hill country, maybe these numbers could be a little bit cold, just depending on which areas clear. But again, you can see much of Williamson County, much of Travis County, and then especially eastern Wilco into Milam and Lee and Bastrop County, upper 20s, low 30s, looking pretty likely for tonight. So that's the model blend. Here are the numbers from the National Weather Service. That Camp Mabry sensor we've been talking about, it is hard to get a freeze at that sensor. It still has not had the first freeze this season yet. It's going to be close, down 32, 33 tonight. But again, these numbers from the Weather Service still showing these upper 20s, low 30s, pretty widespread across our area. Again, so many areas, especially along and east of I-35, getting a freeze tonight. Sensitive outdoor plants, light freeze preps, absolutely. Again, is this like pipe bursting cold? That's not what we're dealing with, but it will be cold. Okay, so let me switch over to this real quick. We'll go over to the slides. All of our KVU counties except for Fayette County have been removed from the freeze warning program, meaning the first widespread freeze has already happened, including over Travis County, which is why there's not one issued for tonight. But Fayette County does have a freeze warning tonight, so even down to parts of Fayette County, a light freeze will be possible. The afternoon tomorrow is going to be cool, but we'll start the warming trend, and this will, take us into the middle and end of the upcoming week. So low 60s Tuesday, low 70s Wednesday, close to 80 Thursday, weak front but only like low 70s Friday. And then things are looking pretty warm here on approach to Christmas. So this will take us through Christmas Eve. And yeah, things are looking warm with highs in the 70s. 6 to 10 day outlook also takes us through December 24th. Very high likelihood of above average temperatures. And during that same time frame, a good likelihood of drier than normal weather as well. So we are talking cold weather. Certainly in the forecast for tonight, with many areas getting down to a light freeze, but after that, I think it's going to be quieter and warmer as we head closer to Christmas. All right, we'll keep the updates coming. Y'all have a good night and stay warm out there.